I think your story is going to be like such a catalyst for other countries, or at least I hope that it is, as far as like progressing and making these laws to make it illegal to do these shows and to steal babies from their moms. I mean, if you watch these videos, like they're like heartbreaking. Like how, like there's not enough money in the world to get me to be one of those people. There just
My God.
isn't. It's dark. So what would you say to someone who's like trying to create change, because you have so far a very successful story. Obviously you're not happy where you're at right now because you want smushy, but you've you've made a big wave.
The thing that I would say to any aspiring activists or people out there that are gut checking themselves to create change is, number one, is check yourself first. Look within yourself and determine what it is that is inspiring your need to create this change. And are you in fact running from something or going for something? Because if you're running from something, you don't have the long game. There's just no long game for you, because if you're going to create the level of change that is necessary to be impactful, you have to set yourself up at the edge of the universe and throw yourself off, and be willing to be both caught and or bounce off a lot of rocks on the way down. So you yourself have to be coming from a place of being grounded. What I find too often is activists are more off wanting to ignore something else, and then they throw themselves into something, and there's just no longevity in that. It's always short-lived, it's trendy.
Mm-hmm.
And those things are, I call it proper criminals. I need proper criminals. I need people that come to me with a healthy bank account already, with a healthy relationship. The bed is made. They've lived their life long enough that it isn't an identity that goes well with their tattoos to be holding signs. It's because their passion is such that they're willing to see through the cool stuff, and they're willing to engage with a level of prospective sacrifice. So what I say to people is, balls to the fucking wall. Like it is, if you're gonna do it, uh, put yourself in the hands of the universe, sacrifice. And I mean, I know that I've been given everything I've needed throughout my big change when we had discussed forks in the road was I was in that bedroom over there on the floor in the fetal position, rocking back and forth, deciding whether I was going to speak out about animal cruelty or not. And that the prospect of living with myself, if I just merely walked away, especially by virtue of looking out the front window and seeing marine land, like, what am I going to stomach having walked away and kept, and or am I going to put myself on the edge of the earth, get sued, have the police and tough guys sent to my house, and have all this craziness? Well, I'd resolve that if there was to be any amount of change, it would require a name and face and an ultimate sacrifice. And so that's what I did. Not everyone has the opportunity to be me. I didn't have kids. At the time, I was blessed with a healthy enough bank account in that I won some stupid reality TV show. So, I was able to quit my job, even if for only a brief moment. But again, I wasn't thinking. I Out of the gates, I was just swinging for the fences, hoping someone would catch me, and I was caught. I was very lucky. I've won the lottery 15, 16, 20 times throughout this journey, hanging just by a thread or by the skin of my teeth from disaster and coming back. Not
Mm-hmm.
everyone needs to do that, but there are professional people out there doing things, and you can help them. And I know it doesn't seem very appealing to many, but sometimes that is the most effective thing you could do, is keep yourself out of someone's already awesome momentum fight and
Mm-hmm.
help them, let
Mm-hmm.
them go. So for me, my battle's personal. I always like when people help me. It's not that I don't need the other, of course I need people on the sidelines and doing things like coming to protests and all this fun stuff, but don't sacrifice your life to help me. Just,
Mm-hmm.
find your purpose, and you'll know it. Here's the other thing I say to people: don't force anything. If you're forcing yourself to find a passion, oh, dude, it's like you're in the wrong lane at that point. You're just not
Yep.
in the right lane.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that this is your destiny? Like this is part of your like your fate, if you will?
I've had no choice in every which way that I've tried to fight this, even down to where when I applied to go on the reality TV show, I knew just by being selected to audition for it, I knew I was winning. I could feel it in my bones. And I knew that it meant trouble, even to the point that if you go back to a 2010 interview with me, it says, what are you going to do with the money? I'd won like $50,000 tax free, right? In Canada. This was a sexy amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
That is for a bum like me. So
no, that is a good amount of money.
Right. It was a nice chunk of change when it was. And I knew, and in that interview, I said, there's like, what are you going to do with this? I said, trouble has a way of finding me, and I'm just going to hold on to this for a rainy day. But that money is what I used to hire lawyers for every person who spoke out against Marineland that got sued. I just started cutting checks like this and said,
wow,
okay, let's fucking go and let's see what happens. And from that moment on, everything lined up for me in such a way that I just stood there and I was just witness and I flowed, and it's wonderful. And then there are times when I feel as though I resist, when I try to make things happen, and when I try too hard, that's when I find myself in an imbalanced state, in an ineffective state.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to just, return to that place of, okay, there's times where you're up, there's times when you're down, there's times to sit and rest. And so that's it. It's been absolutely my fate. How it ends for me, I don't know. How I believe it ends, exactly as I've had to believe it from day one, that I'm getting that fucking walrus.
I really hope you do. Honestly, I do. And I see all the signs like leading towards you being like the hero of the story. And I think you have very supportive people behind you. And you've obviously been doing a serious media run. You've been on some really, really huge podcasts. So I don't think that those things would be lining up for nothing.